Audio Jungle.
Power outages in parts of central Manchester, property damage in grey ground. As the outer bands of Hurricane Melissa continue to impact sections of southern Jamaica, there are reports of power outages and property damage in central Manchester near Mandeville. Member of Parliament for Manchester Central Rhoda Crawford explained that a terrain collapse in grey ground area. A motor vehicle which was reportedly parked atop of the terrain had been removed by wrecker on Monday morning. Some of the areas currently up without power is the Knockpatrick Division, including Towers, Newfield, section of Sunset, New Wales, section of Lucky Street, and sections of Waltham. In the Belfield Division, areas without power include Dayton, Providence, Content, Banana Ground, and some section of Near Preston, Blue Mountain, Top Coffee Grove, and Bottom Coffee Grove. In the Mandeville Division, Greenville Road, Confidence Avenue, sections of Bromfield, and sections of Bromella Road are without power. The Royal Flat Division, including Tree Train, is also without power, Crawford noted. Alligator Pond residents urged to evacuate. Just over a year after their business and homes were ravaged by Hurricane Beryl, fisherfolk and residents here said they are not taking any chances with Hurricane Melissa, which up to late afternoon Sunday was forecast to make landfall in the vicinity of the fishing village on Jamaica's south coast. Everett Christian, owner of Little Ochi Seafood Restaurant, which was battered by Hurricane Beryl last year, and Councillor Omar Robinson, People's National Party Alligator Division, told reporters that preparations have been made to secure properties in Alligator Pond and also evacuate the coastline. We in Alligator Pond, we start to get high tides, which is very unusual, and we're getting showers, not a large amount of rain as yet, Christian said on Sunday. We are preparing ourselves. We are not going to step aside like with Beryl, like say it would just come and go like that. Based on what we hear so far, it's going to be a big one. So we are tying down all the things that we can tie down, take off what we can take off, and put aside, Christian noted. It's the first I've ever seen the fishermen take it so seriously because the boats already pushed right to the housing scheme, he added, in reference to the efforts made to get fishing boats as far inland as possible. Councillor Robinson said even as fisherfolk move to secure their vessels, he's encouraging residents to evacuate the area. I visited the seashore on Sunday. The waves are climbing higher as I speak. When I reached out to the Parish Disaster Management, Mr. Kevin Lewis, he mentioned that Alligator Pond is now under an evacuation order, and the same was confirmed by the police that we should start making preparations to evacuate the area, knowing that Hurricane Melissa is now a Category 5 and it will make landfall on the coastal end of Alligator Pond, he noted. I am here preaching evacuation. Let me hope that the residents will buy into it. The shelter is ready at New Forest High School, and before next hour, I should be doing some work to clear the swamp. It is at capacity. We are heading to the area to clear the swamp so that the water can run out, he noted. I am imploring all the residents of Alligator Pond Space to adhere to orders of evacuation and keep as safe as possible as we brace for the possible impact of Hurricane Melissa. I was in a discussion with a fisherman this morning while he was pushing up his boat because they are in the final stage of their preparations. Most of the boats are inland, and during a discussion, he was saying he is in his 30s and it's the first time he has taken hurricane this serious. He is strapping down his roof with rope. The battering down activities has been completed, and he is not worried about the devastation that might occur. Most people are really worried about the possible impact, and we're hoping for the best, he added. Hurricane Melissa was cutting a deadly path through the Caribbean on Sunday, strengthening into a Category 5, and is crawling along the orange slow course towards Jamaica and the island of Hispaniola. Melissa has already been blamed for 3 deaths in Haiti, and in outer bands brought heavy rains and landslide to the impoverished nation. 2 men gunned down in Spanish Town, attackers being sought. Investigators assigned to the St. Catherine North Police Division are searching for gunmen who attacked and shot 2 men along William Street in Spanish Town yesterday afternoon. The deceased are yet to be identified. Reports are that about 2 p.m., the 2 men stopped along the street near a business establishment and were approached by 2 men who brandished guns and fired shots, hitting both men repeatedly. The attackers escaped on foot in the area. The men were assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital where they succumbed to their injuries. No motive has been established for the murder. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch is probing the matter. Accident leaves children seeking medical attention. Two children have reported being taken to a medical facility following a motor vehicle accident along Orange Street in Montego Bay, St. James on Monday. Their conditions are currently unknown. Reports are that just after midday, a Toyota Vax and a Toyota Corolla motor vehicle were traveling along the roadway when there was a collision. The children were subsequently taken to seek medical attention. The police were called in, the scene was processed, and the vehicles were removed. Hoping for the best. As dark clouds gather over Bull Bay, St. Andrew, several residents in flood-prone communities refused to evacuate ahead of Hurricane Melissa, insisting they would weather the storm from their homes despite government warnings. On Saturday, local government minister Desmond McKenzie urged residents in vulnerable communities such as Taylor Land in Bull Bay, Rocky Point in Clarendon, Port Royal and New Haven to evacuate immediately, warning that the government may move to implement mandatory evacuations. The minister said he would be seeking approval from the Prime Minister based on recommendations from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management (ADPEM). However, when reporters visited Taylor Land on Sunday, many residents were unmoved. Nobody now moved, declared Mother Still, who was seen exiting his car outside his gate. Normally the elderly then would go, but from morning, minister in a bus. Mother Still, who lives with his grandfather, uncle and nephew, said he felt safe because the Chalky River, which often floods during heavy rain, was recently cleared. From in the week, them have a tractor to clean out the gully, so me have no major problem, he explained. Having lived there all his life, he recalled only one major flood during Hurricane Ivan. He added that no one had visited the community to issue an evacuation warning. If anything serious happened, we just jump in the car and drive them out, he said, noting that he had just returned from the gas station where he filled his tank. Two women nearby also said they intended to stay put, trusting in God for protection. We are just hoping for the best, said one of them, adding that once the gully is clean, they will likely be safe. They were, however, skeptical about the state of the shelters. Were the shelters there? One woman asked. In the Weeds Road, a neighboring community, perched directly beside the gully, and one more flood-prone area, residents expressed greater concern. They feared that only minimal cleaning had been done. If them did not clean the gully, we wouldn't need to fret, one man said while urging the team to look for themselves. Despite their fears, most residents said they would not leave their homes unattended. We can't leave. Through this storm, we just have to do it and watch the gully, said Sushana, who lived in the gully bank with her mother, who has one leg. Nobody now sleep, cause the gully have a way to sing when it arise, she added. We know about storm surge, we worry about the gully, Nish added. Meanwhile, in downtown Kingston, the mood was mixed. A few vendors were seen trying to sell off their produce before the storm. Me drop the price from 500 to 400. Me get rid of the tomato them before them spoil, one vendor added. On Darling Street, Barbara Vivian Andrews continued business as usual, grooming customers as the rains loomed. It's my day-to-day activity, and every Sunday me open, he said. Andrews added that he planned to ride out the storm in his barber shop, confident that the structure was strong enough and unwilling to leave his valuables behind. Along King Street, a few homeless residents sat under the corridor of the new court building. Many said they preferred to stay put rather than go to shelters, citing poor conditions and safety concerns. Me no like man and woman a mix up. Enough of them man they are thief and rapists, whisper Audrey 57, who lives on Orange Street, we prefer stay at my place. Shirley 61, who has lived on the street for a decade, agreed. Them no have no bed in the shelter, and me now go in there where the man them there and them no clean and smell bad, she added. Me like people who smell fresh and clean. Both women, they had planned to find other accommodations if the storm comes. The men shared similar views, stating that poor hygiene and overcrowding were the reasons they stayed away. Reporting conditions for persons on bail temporarily suspended. The Court Administration Division is advising that reporting conditions for persons on bail who are required to visit police stations or other designated reporting locations have been suspended with immediate effect as Jamaica braces for Hurricane Melissa. The division says as other bail conditions imposed by the courts remain in full effect and must continue to be observed by persons on bail. The agency says all bail reporting conditions resume on Monday, November 3rd. It says this temporary suspension applies island-wide and is intended to ensure the safety of all concerned, given the potentials for hazardous weather conditions, block or damaged roads, and other disruptions associated with the hurricane. All stakeholders, including the Jamaica Constabulary Force, members of the public, the private bar, and persons on bail, are being asked to take note of the change and follow the guidelines provided. Members of the public are encouraged to stay informed about their court-related matters by following the official social media channel of the Judiciary of Jamaica at Judiciary of Jamaica for updates on court operations and rescheduled court dates. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.